why I always choose high leverage long-term plays. In building brand, in building association between known things and unknown things. That's the definition of brand. It's associating something you know with something you don't know. So you associate something you know, an athlete that's successful in athletics, something you may not know, Nike. So because Nike associated what you know, the winning, the success, the greatest athletes of all time, with themselves, now when you wear Nike, you feel like you're a part of that camp, or it brings you closer to that ideal within your own mind. And that is why they spend a lot of money on that top line cool factor, so to speak. Okay. Am I saying let's all spend money on cool factor? No, that's not what I'm saying. It's not like I can pay Alex Hormozy to promote my business or just to rep the merch. Merch coming soon, by the way, for myself exclusively. But maybe you guys will get it later on, say next year or something. But I want to get nice little t-shirts to be able to rep because of branding. And that's basically a very high leverage thing that I can do, because once you can get those associations, then everything you say holds a lot more weight to it, because it is associated to the results that you are able to achieve, or with the results that you are able to get for other people, which is more my play. And so that's why it is of high importance that I am consistent on the grind when it comes to creating the content. It's not just a thing of, oh, I want to be this popular guy for the sake of being popular. No, there's a high leverage play that I'm trying to get to here, and which is I'm trying to be known, to be notorious. No, no, not notorious. Notorious is known negatively. I'm trying to be synonymous with the idea of business success within South Africa and then within an African context. And so I want to be notorious with not only speech of business, financial education, financial literacy, um, and self improvement. That's what I want to be synonymous with. Anytime you talk about those things, you mention, oh, do you know about the, yeah, there's this guy, he has a, and then anytime you hop on the video, you see that, for any people who are running into my videos who may be qualified to be a customer for myself, then they see the t-shirt, they see what we're about, and it's what we speak about all the time, which is growth. I mean, you're going to be able to tell immediately, spoiler alert, you're going to be able to tell immediately from the logo exactly what it is that we stand for, and exactly what it is that we're striving for, in terms of within helping the businesses that we're going to be working with right now in this context. And then later on, the holding company is going to be about growing, yes, but it's going to be more um, deep rooted in, particularly in an African context. Right now it's growth across the board, specifically within South Africa, specifically in the online space, and then to niche down even further, e-commerce is where we see ourselves landing. And so that all that is going back to the first point, which is leverage. What is the most high leverage play that I could do? What could I do now that is going to put me in a position where I can give a little and get a lot out of it? And so building the platform is a lot of work on the front end. But once the platform is established, once we get up to a couple million followers, once we get up to being continent wide, then the things that we say and the things that we do, the moves that we want to make, will be a lot more accessible to us, because people know who's saying this, and they know who it is, what I stand for, and you don't have to reintroduce yourself and what you stand for every time you go into. So what I'm basically trying to say is, yes, there is a lot of work on the front end that needs to be done before we get to those types of heights, and there are going to be a lot of milestones that we're all going to enjoy together on this journey. But the point is that, yes, there is all this front work, but at the end of it, or further along in the journey, we get to that position where we can start to have conversations. And as we're having those conversations, we can just boom, this is me. Oh, you want to find out about me, what I stand for, who I am, what I can do? Can I be consistent? Can I show up? Can I not only show up but consistently deliver? Boom, this is me, you know? And so it becomes a living, breathing almost representation of your spirit, of your ethos that you carry around in your pocket, and it's a click of a button away instead of a conversation away. And so a link is much easier to send to someone than starting an entire conversation is. It's easier to say, hi, this is me, this is what I stand for, boom, proof, than it is to try and build that rapport from start. Yes, we are a charismatic bunch, yourselves and myself, and we can build that rapport through actually working to the people organically, cracking the jokes. But I feel that you get all of that as a represented idea of something that you're capable of when you have an organic following. You understand? And so building that organic following is leverage. Always think leverage. Always think what is the thing that I could start doing now that is going to put me in a position in 5, 10 years where I'd only have to just and I just great man said, give me a lever and enough pulleys and I can move the world. Something to that effect. I'm butchering that quote, but it's if you give me a lever, and a place to stand, then I could move the world. Leverage is a very, very important thing to consider when you're about to make moves, especially starting out, because we talk about strategy as being limited resources against unlimited opportunity, right? So starting out, you have very limited resources, and so the question becomes, what opportunities should we prioritize? Is it an importance thing or is it an urgency thing? Well, I believe, my belief, and what I'm doing right now currently is the important things are often of utmost urgency, or rather, them being done is the most important thing and becomes urgent when they have to happen. Meaning, in my day to day, it is not necessary to ensure that I have time blocked out to record and I have time blocked out to do this and do that. But it is very okay. It's important that that happens, but it's not very urgent. Meaning, most of the time, I'm going to have things recorded, be it shorts. So most of the time, I have shorts pre-recorded, and then my long form stuff I can do a lot more on an organic timeline. I just like it more that way. Um, I just like it more that way because there's a faster feedback loop. As in, I get to do something now, put it out, and then I get to find out faster if I did good or I didn't do good. I can tweak, I can do this, I can do that. And again, going back to the point, which is leverage. Doing this again is super, super important, and it becomes urgent in those times when it needs to get done. But otherwise, for example, doing organic, reaching out, getting new customers, that may be more urgent. If I'm at a space where I'm filled up to capacity, like I am now, roundabout, then it becomes more urgent that I find ways to actually serve and deliver value and constantly show up for the customers that I do currently have, because that's again building that brand, trying to give as much as I can away. No, we're not really in the game for free now, are we? But we are still trying to give as much as we can on top of as additional value, right? We give more than what we expected to. It's under promise, but way over deliver. You give yourself. You show up as yourself, because that again is that reputation, is that brand. Um, Great man said, guard your name with your life. A hero of mine, Alex Ramosi, he paid how much? 150,000, something like that, for like an hour of someone's time, maybe 350,000, something absurd like that, for an hour of someone's time. And then he told him something. He gave him a piece of advice, and among all the things he said, one of the greatest pieces of advice that he received from that person during that hour was, guard your name with your life. And he was saying this in an interview, and then the guy was interviewing him laughs, and he says, "Wow, you paid $350,000 to hear that? I could have told you that." you know. And it's like sometimes the messenger is as important as the message. Sometimes you've heard something said 1,000 times, but because now you're hearing it from someone who has what you want, you have a different type of respect for it. So guard your name with your life in building that brand, in building those associations. I believe that is the most high leverage thing that you could possibly do, and that's why I'm doing it now. That's why I'm dedicating my life to making something like that happen. And then I just made another play, and then one of my brothers saw it, who happens to be a client as well, and he said making big moves, and I said, yo brother, you don't know the half of it, right? Because he's seeing what's happening now, and what he may not understand, and I'm sure he read it, I'm sure he understood a little bit, but I'm sure he doesn't understand the bigger picture, which is what I'm doing is now I've created a community. It's a WhatsApp community just called Sage Consultation, and basically the community consists of people that I am dealing with in business, be it clients, be it fellow business owner. Right now, to be honest, it's mostly clients. However, I do believe that it's going to spread beyond just my own client base, and it's going to spread to the friends of clients, and it's going to spread to anyone who's looking for that business insider type of information, and is hoping to get a little bit of that daily, which is something that I found that I'm not really extremely business centric in my channel. This is more so, again, a personal brand, a documentation of me, and I'm not just business, right? I love my training, I love my reading, I love my philosophy. I love breaking down, building up the human psyche, ideas, identity. I love all those things, and so I want to give that. That's what I want to give. Um, I don't just want to be business, because that's not all I am. However, it is a major part of me, and it is something that I'm thinking about consistently, and thinking about all the time. Hence, it comes up so often, even within the content. And so, the most high leverage play that I could have done, and I know this because I was busy watching something, and they mentioned the word community, as something that is very high leverage when it comes to marketing, because you literally give people free value, and they give you free leads. Uh, on a recurring basis. They just give you free leads over and over again. They're constantly going to be like basically advertising your business, um, through giving other people who may value from the thing that you're doing. And so what you're giving is value. Don't get that twisted. This doesn't just happen overnight, and there's no paywall attached to it, really. That's why it's called organic, because it's from the seed to the root to the tree to the fruit. So it has to start out as something small, and from there, as you nurture it, as you give it nutrition, then it becomes something much bigger. And so you have to water that seed. You have to give value. It has to be rich soil. And so when you're planting those seeds in that soil, you have to be consistently willing to show up. And so I did something where, like I said, I wanted to create a space where I can be more business centric, outside of LinkedIn, which I created the other day. And I'm sure it was the seeding of this idea, but I hadn't really understood within myself how I'm going to manifest it. Because yes, I do want to create the LinkedIn, because I am a business guy, and I do want just the name Sage Consultation to already belong to something. It's the only there's Sage Consulting, there's Sage, the helping business grow. There's a lot of Sage Consulting, Sage and whatever consult, only one Sage Consultation. So yeah, had to get that, had to get that client and bang. So the point is, again, leverage. Is starting a community right now a very urgent thing? No. However, it is very high leverage to be able to have a space like that, where I can not only express the ideas that I want to express anyway. Like I save a lot of videos that I just have to myself. And every once in a while, I'll kind of try and shoe in to my clients. Just, hey, this is the, I saw this video today, very fantastic idea, very, I just wanted to. So now I have a space to do that without necessarily contacting people personally, right? Because there needs to be that separation between what is optional to consume and what is mandatory and strictly business. And so this is a way to kind of separate those two things, but also in a way where I can and that's where we talk about leverage, right? So I'm talking to clients directly without talking. I'm talking to clients without talking to them directly, but also I'm creating a community of business people who are probably going to see one another, mingle, network, maybe ask questions about one another, whatever that becomes. It is that I'm creating a space where people who are in business in this area are going to come together, and I'm also giving those people value, and they're going to want to receive more value from me, or realize the kind of value that I can bring, and perhaps that'll lead to deals with them, and also creating affiliates through them, because they are people who are going to receive great value and going to want to give other people that great value, so that their own brands are associated with giving such value. That's leverage. So what is the actual work done that I'm going to need to do? Okay, I created the group. I actually just changed the name from Trained by Sage, which is my old company, to Sage Consultation. Completely different identity. So I changed to that. And what else am I gonna do? I'm gonna, as soon as my logo comes in, I'm gonna put the logo as the profile picture. And I've posted 3 videos now, but I'm gonna decrease that to 1 video a day, because most churn, most exits from a company, or most canceled subscriptions are due to um, indigestion, not starvation. It's by feeding people too much, and putting too much down the pipeline that they can't really consume on time, and so they feel that, man, what's the point of me even doing this? Because I'm not up to date when it comes to this. Like, I don't want to be a part of it. And so just a young 1 video a day, with a young concept underneath, I believe is extremely high leverage, because what's it really going to require from me? Nothing that I'm not doing already. It's sawdust. It's things that I already have. It's people I already have, videos I already have. I'm just putting them in one space. And it's especially a space where I get to give people the value that I wanted to give them in any case. But again, my statuses I use mostly for, hey, listen, this is it's my get up and go. It's my get up and bro stuff. The real ones will know. There's actually a few people who kind of get that inside joke. It's my get up and bro stuff, and I use those to kind of, you know for other people, because I know a lot of people without even saying it, and I realized this maybe last year. This is a tangent. I realized last year that one of the people who actually was coaching me at the time, used to watch a lot of my status. This is within rugby. He used to watch my statuses and stuff like that. And so to me, it was just something that I just started doing. And then he actually hit me up, and he was like, "Yo, could you send me like some of those videos, like some of those videos you post and stuff?" Because I literally just didn't post that day because I was busy. And he hit me and said, "Yo, could you send me one of those things you usually post, or like a couple of them? I'd appreciate it, because I usually." And I was like, "Wow." It's in that moment that I realized, like, wow, this actually means something to some people. And you may not think people are watching, but they are. And you may not think it matters, but it does. You may not think they care, but they do. And for me, it was just something where, like, I just saw something that I liked, and I just wanted to share it. But I just started doing it every day. And so, because it was there every day, people kind of, used it as their get up and bro, um, inspiration, bro inspiration. Yeah, they just used it to get up and go, anytime they saw it. And so, going back now, that's something separate about just providing value, being consistent, and the kind of impact that you can have on certain people. Never underestimate that. Okay, that's one thing. Going back to leverage, sawdust, things that you already wanted to do, people that you already had, and putting them together is a very high leverage thing to do. And the most high leverage thing is, again, wanting to create that value, wanting a space to create that value, while at the same time using what I already have, but also building something that could turn into, this, which means to that, which means to that domino effect. That's what you want when it comes to leverage. And then I wanted to give a final point, but strong video about leverage. And I do want to shut it down there. I do want you to think leverage. Always think leverage. A second thing could be perhaps sawdust. Or let's put it this way, use what you have. Sawdust, the idea of sawdust is there were these wood mills, they're creating tables, this and that. And what they used to do is they just used to chop the wood, they create the table, they sell the tables, this and that. And then one day this guy just looked at the ground and they just used to sweep up the sawdust and throw it away. He was like, is there no way that we can just glue this together and make some sort of some sort of table out of this and then sell that? And then people were like, yeah, I guess we could. And they did that. And so that's additional profit out of thin air that just didn't exist in that industry before. And so that's sawdust. We all have sawdust, It's the idea of Airbnbs. Airbnbs are, say now I'm in this house, I'm not using this back room, right? There's a main house, there's this back room, not really using this back room. We can rent this back room out. So that space that you already had, you just weren't utilizing, and now it becomes an additional stream of income, or it becomes an additional stream of whatever it is that you're looking for. For me, it's an additional stream of marketing. It's an additional stream of being able to add value into people's lives. Again, people already had videos that I already had, and something that I already wanted to do, and the combination of those things can grow into something that is going to give me a lot of leverage. And so always think leverage. Always think, what can I do now to position myself in 5 to 10 years in a place where, for a little bit of a crank, I can get a lot out of what I've built through the years. And that's why you always want to get into vehicles that are compounding. And that's why you need to guard your reputation with your life, because not only positive compounds, negative also compounds. And so if you get a lot of people in, and that's why I'm not very big on, that's why I'm not just a marketing agency. That's why I chose Consultation, because it's a holistic view. Marketing is just, I'm going to pump you full of customers and good luck, buddy. And that's not what I'm about. I want to get the customers in, like, front end. I want to get you the leads, but I also want you to sell the leads. And then once we have the leads, I want to be able to say, okay, now stop. You see what your time is looking like? Okay, that means we're actually in a place where, depending, are we healthily profitable? Do you feel like this is a healthy business model? Because again, that's very important before you grow something, is considering if you have solved the problems at this level. Because if you don't solve your problems, you just grow your problems as you grow the business. And so, not to go too deep down that business rabbit hole, because I can go forever about that stuff. I just want you guys to go home thinking about leverage, and digest that over the weekend. And yeah, I'll hit you up on Monday. Please do hit that subscribe button if you do enjoy the channel. Thank you. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I have been Sage, signing out.